Hey, good morning, advanced programming. I'm sorry I cannot be there today, but here I am. And yeah, we had a problem last class with our contact started. We had a new function. I'll just throw in some functions here. We had a new function that was going to do our collision detection code. It was called ContactStarted. It had some problems. Just a reminder, it takes a parameter, single fContact object, and it gets called automatically by processing or by the Fisica physics engine, to be specific, every time a collision between two FBodies occur. And then this contact object contains all the details about what collided and how they collided and all that stuff. So the problem was that let's put in a few more things. Let's assume we have an FBox called player 1 and player 2, and I'm just gonna put some comments here because we won't put in the entire sketch. Let's assume that P1 is an FBox like so, and P2 is an FBox as well. And you can set their fill and set all those important things. I guess for the purposes of this demonstration. Oops, I heard a bloop. Just want to, maybe it's Discord. I guess my where is it? OBS is yeah, still running. Okay, sorry, random. So the story that I was trying to say was about these F boxes, and it wasn't working because I don't have the library. No, where are we here? Okay. Anyways, so if we have these two boxes, and there's all the properties we need to set. I'm sure you've done something similar to that. But once you have your bodies, we were gonna do something like this, where in ContactStarted we could say if contact.contains P1 and contact.contains P2, then we could realize that there was a contact that happened because this function was called, and we could tell that it contains both P1 and P2. There's a little bit of controversy about whether or not you can do this. Some students have noted that you can, some have noted that you can't. So you could do an experiment today and discover for yourselves if this works or just putting them all in one. Just doing it like this or doing it like this, which works and which does not work. And you can let me know when we get back to class, or when I get back to class, hopefully next week. But anyways, this was good. It would determine it if we put print line ouch. We would notice that if the bodies collided, it would print out ouch. But what it could not do was, oh, sorry, just a second. My alarm is going off. Yeah, it's not a great day so far. Thanks for your patience with me. So anyways, we discovered that we couldn't do something like setPosition. So you couldn't say like P1 dot setPosition, wherever it is you want to go, because, well, we don't really know why, but it was not able to do that. So here's a workaround that you can do. Another thing that you can do is in here, you can give it an additional property that will function like a switch. It's called its name. Sorry, P1 dot set name, I believe. Let me just check that. Let's see. Set name. I saw it. There you go. Yeah, it's set name. and you can give it a string, which is just some text inside of double quotes. So you could say, player 1, for example, and P2, you can set the name to player 2, or you could do some other things as well. You could set this to alive. Set this to, you don't want to set them to the same name. Alive 1 and alive 2, maybe, I don't know. But anyways, you can kind of make this name a flag, if you will, that signifies whether or not they're collided. And the story is because I know we can't seem to set position, at least yet, but in the meantime, you can set name. So we could do, set it to cot 1. Oh yeah, but you have to do a little bit more, I guess. You have to put in the if statements to decide if it was on the left side or the right side. So there's a little bit more logic involved. You have to do something like if p1 dot get x is less than the center of the screen divided by 2. And there's some more details there, but for the majority of it, it's looking good for using setName. Now, setName really does nothing. You don't even actually see the name. You can't see this name when you're running your sketch. You won't see anything visibly change when you change it on the screen, but your draw function, or whatever function you're using that's called from the draw function, can be constantly watching for that change in name. So, for example, you probably have lots of other code, not the least of which is world.step, world.draw in here. But you can write an inside of your draw function an if statement that's checking to see if p1 dot get name. And this is kind of ugly syntax. I'm like super sad that I'm writing it this way, but you could do dot equals cot. I guess we could just do cot. We don't have to do cot1. Seems a little bit silly. We could just check to see if it equals cot. I'm going to put this to cot. And if it does, it's safe to do a set position in the draw function. So we do p1 dot set position to wherever it is we wanted to send it, and then reset its name back to whatever it was before. So this is a bit of a roundabout annoying thing, but it's not super bad. Do make sure that you set the name in setup for anything that's going to involve this technique, because if you say you forget to do that, then every frame is checking to see if the name is equal to cot, but the name is actually null because you haven't set it, so you'll get an error. I suppose there's ways around it, but I think this is a good way to leave things so that this sort of code will function as a check to see if you've forgotten to set the name for anything in particular. So make sure you set the names to everything that you're going to use this technique with. So again, one more time just to run through it. In your setup, in addition to the other properties that you're going to set for your player objects and anything else you want to do with collisions, set a name. And in your ContactStarted function, instead of changing positions, you can change the name when the correct collision happens. This code is a medium approximation of what kind of thing you need. And just to test it out, you might want to just get rid of this altogether, just to test it, and then bring in more logic later on to see how it's working. You can just have P1 die when there's a collision between P1 and P2. That would be a great test, and then go in and add some more logic and test if you can get it to happen in the zones. And then last but not least, what makes this technique work, the reason why it is this does anything, is because we have a function in draw excuse me, that is always watching to see if the name is changed to cot, and if it is, has been changed, then we can do things like set position in this if statement. And we don't want to constantly be doing this. We want the game to start again. So then, we can set name back to player 1 and turn off this if statement so we can then control it again. Otherwise, we'll be constantly glued to whatever position we've sent it to. So I hope that helps out. I don't know. I'm not sure if everybody is at that step yet, but when you get to that step, try it out, and if we find a better workaround in the future, then great. And if not, then this is a reasonable way to make things happen. All right, thanks everybody. I hope you have a great day. Bye.